Angelica Film Center in New York to do an interview with our guest speakers for Take Shelter. So we are here with Tyler Davidson and Sophia Lynn, from the producers from Take Shelter. In Take Shelter, there are some very relevant themes to kind of what's going on in the world today, with the kind of downward spiral of what's going on with the financial crisis, the tsunami, fears of 2012, what's going on. Did these events shape the movie at all?
When Jeff was starting to write the film, he had his first film, Shotgun Stories, come out to some pretty great critical acclaim. And he was in the process of getting married, and he was feeling that as he was having something in his life to hold on to, as he was putting a family together and, having a film that he could be proud of, he was also feeling that there was something to lose now. And the anxiety about having those risks, having these precious things at risk, really drove a lot of the themes, the personal themes of the film. But at the same time, he also thought that there were a lot of things going kind of crazy in the world. We were in the middle of the Bush administration, and with 2 wars going on, and the tsunami in 2005, I think, and Hurricane Katrina, and all of those things were financial meltdown in 2008. I think he was just feeling that there was just kind of a lot of generalized anxiety, and I think that that's continued through to today. I mean, it seems relatively quiet in the Middle East, but at the time that we premiered the film at Sundance, Egypt was literally in the middle of a revolution, and then we get hit by Hurricane Irene. So the marriage of the personal themes of anxiety in terms of risking tangible things as he was going from young manhood to adulthood, and combined with the generalized anxiety in the world, was kind of where the story started to take shape. So,
what were your respective roles in producing the film?
Well, we were both equal producing partners and sort of both wore many hats, I think. Sophia comes from a background where she has a lot of production experience and has done, and she was sort of leading the effort there, not to speak for you, but among other things. I brought financing to the project, was kind of involved in getting some of the casting deals closed and things like that. I think we figured out quickly what was the right dynamic to work together.
I don't think we get along at all.
Yeah, we went on to do another movie together, so that was a good partnership.
What movie?
It's a new movie by the director of a film called Great World of Sound. It's his second film, called Compliance, and that director is Craig Zobel. How
did you get on board? What was your draw to this film?
Oh, well, I had actually met the director, Jeff Nichols, several years prior to Take Shelter starting to kind of germinate, I guess. And he called me up. It had been probably a good year since I had talked to him, and he said, I have a new script. I want you to read it, and I would love for you to work with me on it. And he said, my executive producer, Sarah Green, thinks that she knows a guy who can get the movie made with you, and that was Tyler. So.
Yeah, and I was exposed to the script for the first time in the summer of 2009. A mutual friend who was an agent shared it with me, and I went for it right off the bat. It reminded me in some ways of one of my favorite films of all time, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I felt it had some shared themes there that really struck a chord with me. And then after talking to Jeff about it, I realized this guy really had a handle on the vision that he wanted to execute, and it just felt like a no-brainer at that point. There were some great people involved in the project. Michael Shannon was already on board, and it was something that I was excited to get into.
Can you guys talk about the process at all? Were there any challenges along the way?
Where do we start? There were a lot of challenges. It's a very ambitious film. There are a lot of elements to it, and in addition to some of the more genre or thriller elements that had a lot of physical challenges, it's a very nuanced psychological and family drama. So we also had the challenge of making sure that the set was a place where our incredible actors could actually concentrate and do their thing. So in addition to the physical challenges, there was also, trying to make sure that Jeff and Michael and Jessica had an atmosphere where they could work on the characters and focus on creating this family together on screen. But the physical was
yeah, I mean,
was really
it was
tough.
an ambitious project for the schedule that we had, and so that's something that you always, I think, want in a production is more time, and that was definitely a challenge that we faced throughout, and fortunately pulled it off by the skin of our teeth.
Yes,
Yeah.
just barely, but we made it. So.
But the reception at our premiere at Sundance of this year was terrific. Sony Pictures Classics came on board and acquired the film days before the festival started, sight unseen, and that was just a tremendous development. And from there, it's just been a really fun year. We've taken the film to festivals all over the world. At the Cannes Film Festival, we won International Critics Week Grand Prize. We played in Toronto, and now we're finally here and release in our first weekend of distribution.
What do you hope audiences take away from this film?
I think that we would like to feel that audiences recognize the merits of the film that we recognized when we first were exposed to it, and that is that it really has some relevance and timeliness in terms of what's happening in the world, and that it really challenges them to consider some themes that maybe they wouldn't normally think about. I think that's a goal when you're making a film that could be described as provocative. You want to have people respond to it in a strong way, and hopefully it's a positive way in this case.
And this is a completely random question, but if you were to produce a movie about your life, what would you title it, and would you be the hero or the villain?
Well, since I just said by the skin of our teeth, I think that would be the title of mine. And of course, well, hero and villain. Can you be both? Do I have to choose? I feel like
That sounds like a David Lynch kind of movie.
Yeah.
I think mine would probably be something along the lines of a melodrama, I guess. And I'd probably have a very, Douglas Sirk-esque title, like, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. So, something like that, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. And Take Shelter is open this week at Angelica Film Center.